Hey, welcome to another episode of Becoming a TechnoWizard. So sorry. It's been a hard walk on my path to become a product designer these past couple of days. Missed two, I didn't want to miss a third day in a row. So I figured I might as well go ahead and make this, even though I'm still super busy. The reason why I didn't miss those days is because last 2 days I've been trying to finish. So, like I said before, I think on Saturday or whatever it was, that we have a lot to do to finish before the final handoff and all that stuff. So, I wanted to get that done. So I did get pretty much all of the wireframes done, at least my part. I'm just waiting for my remaining group member to finish her part as well. And currently, I'm working on the usability test report. Um, Finally working on that because that's way late, but working on that. And then once I finish that, I'll start prototyping. Hopefully, she'll be done with the wireframes by then, so we can start prototyping, annotating, and then final handoff, or future recommendations and final handoff. So, boom, bam, a lot of stuff. So let me show y'all what I'm doing. I mean, it could be just I don't know what type of it. I might either show you what I'm doing with the test report or just go over wireframes. Maybe both. We'll see. Um, but let's share screen. Go ahead and share my whole screen because I don't know where I'm going yet. Okay. Why is it? Okay, reload. It usually just does it live. I don't know why I had to do it that time. I'm on Figma. I like Figma. It's pretty nice, especially the collaboration. I do feel like I don't know. I feel like it's a lot smoother and less janky than Sketch. I feel like Sketch always has problems. Maybe it's just because my Mac is fairly old. From I think it's like a 2011 Mac or something like that, MacBook Air. So maybe that's where a lot of the bugs come from. But Figma has just been really smooth for me. There's very rarely any cases where I feel like it's jank. I only rarely ever come across something like that. But Sketch, it was almost every day you come across a bunch of like bugs, weird stuff happening. Just don't understand how it works. But Figma is, I don't know, it's very nice. Anyways, so this is what I have. I'm gonna go over that colorful stuff a little bit later, but finally got let me there we go. Finally got, a nice little got all the context in here. I mean, most of this is just three different ones and just repeat it. So a couple of things we found out is that when I was if you recall, here's what the original, kind of idea looked like. But, as you can see, many of these aren't, they're like all different sizes and widths and all that stuff. Um, I thought it would be cool to have like a kind of like an artistic kind of flow to it, but it just wasn't practical in terms of, how when I'm handing this off, like what do I tell people? Like how do they know what size is what? Um, and we also wanted to feature certain organizations and businesses once they get above a certain level, with the leveling system. But we didn't really have a good way of doing that. We were like, hey, maybe we should put a border around it or this, that, the other. But you know what? It was like, hey, we could just standardize the cards so that all cards fall under a certain thing. I'm gonna hide this for now because that's not relevant. But so we got four main types of cards. You have your level one card. So it's really, just a title and name there. And we have a level two card. It has a picture. Even though it does forego like the paragraph, I imagine people would be looking for like pictures more so than anything else. So I don't think it'll be a major loss there to have like no paragraph, no like words on it. But maybe you can even put words on it. Depends on how it looks. I don't know. This is the level. No, I'm sorry. That was level one, level zero, level one, level two. Level two has both the picture and the title and words, and level three is kind of a full size card. So you could have a full size picture, have a good amount of explanation, have your support and all that stuff. And finally, or additionally, we also have a urgent card. So if there's an event that Quell really wants to support and make sure this thing gets done, they can put a banner on it and have a different look to it. And finally, you also have Quell's card, so people can go there to see more about the organization itself. Um, and again, this standardized process just makes it easier for us to hand off to other people. It makes it easier to explain, what all these different cards are and how to make a card. And in addition, it also makes the leveling system more relevant because now you're encouraged to be more involved on the platform. And how this leveling system works, well, I'll go over it more later. But basically, the more you participate in the website, or rather in the community, the higher your level is. There's only 3 levels so far, but maybe they might want to make more later. But yeah, so for by default, you're level 0, so this is all you get for your organization. For level 1, after you support a certain number of causes, you can do this. Level 2, level 3, so on. And we also have badges. So each level comes with its own badge. Initially we were just going to, like, again, because the cards were separate from the badge, we were just going to use the badge to indicate where the level they are. But doing it both I think is a win-win. And this is just the Quell's logo, but we just crop it up, and they said that was okay. I know typically people don't want to mess with their logo, but the client suggested that they use their logo in more places and in creative ways. So that's one, that's really the only way we thought to use it right now, but I think it's a pretty good use. So some other things, still got this change view, your favorites. Um, the main difference is that when you hit a filter, so instead of all these options being on here at once, you have to hit that filter button. It does tell you how many applied, if there are any, from the onboarding process. But when you do, boom, bam, get all your filters. So you can select them, and as you select, it automatically updates this on here. I believe I showed, yeah, in the last video I showed, where I got that from, and I think it's a really cool effect. So I would love to see that live. But yeah, when you select your filters, the page automatically updates and applies all that there. You can close it, and it will tell you how many are applied and stuff like that. I got all these categories from one of the client's website called citypride.org. So I just took all their websites, took all the categories. So when these are expanded, when this part is expanded, it will show all of these categories underneath here, and you can scroll down and stuff like that. I also looked up, what all the terms in the spectrum are, at least, the major ones. And these are what I found. So again, you can, you know, open that up and you can see more of the terms there. Make sure we have that inclusivity. So now we finally have, the change option. Oh, the reason why I have this go here is because my instructor had a good point in that in order to be accessible, you want to have an option that tells you, this is how you basically open up this menu. Without that, blind people who are using like a screen reader or whatever it's called, I think it's called a screen reader. If it just says change view and grid, it doesn't really, like, the arrow doesn't have a verbal appendage, a verbal point to it. So you have to put something else there, like go or submit or something, to tell, so those people can see, hey, oh yeah, submit, go, in order to open up the menu and read through these. So that's why we have that go here. It's maybe not as, sleek as just having, the basic spot, but I think it's nice. It's nice to have that accessibility. So yeah, when you select one of these options, let's say the list view, it will go to this page here. So you have your list. So here you can see all your filters at once. You can see, all these organizations and stuff like that. And I was having the idea of maybe you can have the same thing here. You can have bigger list spots for, level 3 and all that. But I was like, I don't know about that. So I just put the badge and call it a day. But still think it's a good inclusion. You have your pagination. I think I mentioned all that before. When you open up your filters, boom, bam, opens that up, cuts out the description because it's not as necessary when you're, just filtering out and you want to see the options before. You don't really need the description too much. And this is what it looks like if you don't have any filters. So it just has, like, a little exclamation there. And once again, once you open up the list here, you can go to the next one, map. So this is map view. This is pretty much the same. I didn't do any changes from the last video. So this is what I figure it will look like once you use a card. So again, it would still use the same level system for the cards. Maybe you can have a standard card, but I figured might as well reuse the same elements here. So boom, bam. I know this one looks weird because it's so big that if you click anything that's if you select anything that's on the edge or that's close to the edge, it will go all the way out here. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's okay because the whole point of this is to see the card. I don't think it matters if it stays in the map area itself, but I'm going to leave that up for my instructor to see if he has any feedback on. But I don't think it will be confusing or usability problem because it's a very clear thing here. It's maybe not as expected, like you would maybe expect it to stay in the map, but I don't think it's a bad thing that it goes outside of the map. Um, so I don't know. That's something I would like to test if we have more time, but I will leave it at for now. Before I get to that, I'm going to show some mobile views. I started messing around with mobile. So the grid, of course, you couldn't really do the same thing for the mobile. So I basically stole from Pinterest or inspired, from Pinterest. It's a little bit more crowded than Pinterest has it. And this wouldn't stay there. It would scroll like with the rest of the stuff. I might change it around some more, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, you have a full page filter. Your map pretty much the same and just stack it up against each other. And the list is the major difference. This is pretty much though from our divergent ones, the little cards for the list instead of actual rows. So you have cards. And I did figure out how to because with the different opacities, I was trying to indicate how much of it was filled, and I figured out finally how to do that. I just made a duplicate of it and cropped it. So I think that's a pretty cool effect. And yeah, so now we can get into the dashboards. So this is where most of the work has gone into making these dashboards. So for the Quell admin panel side, they can get a dashboard of all the metrics and measurements. This is pretty important because our client really wanted this site, or he saw like the big goal of the site to be like a huge data science treasure for the community in order for them to see, what parts of the community needs the most help, all this other stuff about the community. And I'm not a data scientist, so it took me a long time to figure out, what type of charts to use and how to use them, how to design them. So, but it was interesting. I learned a lot about how to use a proper charts and stuff like that. But in any case, it was just cool to have this here. Um, I might have extended a little bit beyond my reach. Like I said, like my instructor said, this may have been ambitious, but so I think it's a good thing to include. There's a lot of options here though, so I'm worried I might have to change all this. Have like that go next to each one, which might not be as usable. But in any case, this is what all the drop downs are, and then the level up page. So finally completed this one. So this just gives an idea of what these security functions are. You can edit these, um, and these are different benefits. I think this is a cool thing here because it systemizes these benefit systems. So if you want for featured, for example, you can give an idea of what the card size is, and then just add it to that feature. I might even take this off though, because initially when I was thinking about it, again, it was with the old idea of only featured items would be a different card size or a specific card size. But now that we have strict levels, we can maybe just take this one off completely, to be honest with you. Um, or at least the card size idea, and featured would just be like, you stay on the front page first, or stay in the front page in the middle for a certain amount of time or something like that. But yeah, I think it's a cool, functionality, very useful. And then you can just drag it over to the level that you want. And then once you do, you can start writing what that benefit is. So, and then you have a remember page. Is it the same as before? Let me see. A big thing I added. Built a team account page, so you can add your team here. You can pick their role or their title, and then you can give them permissions. So I think that was very useful. It was highly asked for, requested. So it was pretty. It took me a while to figure out, what this would look like, but it was kind of easy once I finally did it. Then, oh, for the community or for the business dashboard, they can see all the supported causes. So you have your list and you have your impact. I was thinking of making this a little chart, like a little bullet graph, like which is like a bar chart, but like that. And it would have maybe yellow, green, or yellow, or red, yellow, green, showing you, how much impact it is, or something like that. But I couldn't really think about what the good axes would be like. Maybe people impacted in a certain amount of time, or but for a bar chart, you're not really comparing it to anything per se, or for impact. It was just hard to think about like what you should really put there. So I just put a big number. um, so I don't know. That's something I'm gonna put in the final handoffs or future recommendations that should be tested, and they should do some research on in terms of what people want to see as a major impact statement. And this is the safety and security side. So very similar to the team account page, but in this one, they can indicate, what part of the public profile is viewable by other people. So they can indicate, at what level these things can be viewed, and then who on the platform can see or interact with these features. So this is pretty important because some parts of some organizations are very sensitive. They are, like I said in the past videos from past interviews, some organizations actually face violent or threats of violence. So you don't want to make it easy for bad actors to just come on the platform and see, who all these people are and where they can find them. Um, so if you lock it to like certain levels, like say maybe you need level 1 or level 2, that means they should be able to trust, these organizations to know their location or know their team and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's a really cool inclusion, and it was highly requested as well. I believe I talked about the notes already in the last video. Um, but I didn't have this part there before. So this is just a simple, just little grid, shows all the notes that you've taken. You can scroll down to see more notes, and pretty simple like that. This might be uh, the more MVP side, like what actually gets executed. Because my instructor pointed out that this feature, though interesting and unique, is it's hard to know whether it'll be as useful as you think, or be as hard or as easy to implement technically. Because one point I have is that you can it automatically inherits the title of whatever you hover or whatever you put it on into the note, so it makes it easier, makes it a little bit faster to take notes on, easier to organize, which may be a hard thing. I didn't think it was when I initially thought about it, because I did something similar when I coded my own website with jQuery, uh, moving things around, and you can input whatever the mouse position is. I thought that would be a similar thing here, but I'm not sure if it is. Like I'm thinking like, because everything on the website is tagged essentially, whether it be a header, or paragraph, or title, or whatever. So I'm thinking that, when position of here equals position of this element, inherent the title, or inherent the header, or whatever. So I don't know. That's how I was thinking about it, but maybe it's not as practical as I was thinking, or maybe not as realistic as I was thinking. And that would be something that would be easy to see if you had a developer on the team. You can just talk to them and see, hey, is this possible? I'm not a real because I'm not a developer. I just had a little bit of coding experience. But anyways, I think that was a very if you can do it, I think it'll be really cool. And I was also thinking that um, you just place like these sticky note things will be all over the place. So if you put a note there, it'll stay there. If you put a note there, it'll stay there. If you put a note there, it'll stay there. Um, Granted, this might be distracting um, for certain people. So I maybe put like, hey, you know, make notes visible, make stickies visible, something like that. So if you want that feature, you can just do that. If not, you can just go to that page to see your notes. Um, and if you color code it too, I think that would be really cool inclusion as well, make it a lot more uh, useful. And a lot of people like color coding in notes. So yeah, that's the dashboard stuff right there. Then we also have what my partner was creating. So she kept most of her profile pages the same. She's just in a little bit better aesthetics in terms of putting it on the grid. So it's all spaced out very, very well. We included a few more information, like put their social media page up top, how you can help, put a kudos system and badges. So both organizations and businesses can receive this. Put the lives changed area up here. Same thing for the businesses. And then we also have an event page. So it's not just the organization. So when you select something from the homepage, it should go directly to the event page first. And from there, you can go to the organization's page. Oh, we don't. I need to tell her we need a link from here to the organization's page. Because I imagine most things on the front page would be events, but sometimes maybe an organization just wants to put their own, card up there. But there needs to be a link, not just to go to their website, but to go to that organization's page on our website, like profile. And the onboarding, just kind of left it almost exactly as I drafted it up. This was like a simple, draft. It's just to see what would be on the page. So she didn't really add much to it. I'm gonna see if we can change this around. Want to make this clear that this is these are buttons, so it's going to be shortened. Like standards say that it's never really good to have like a multi-line stuff on the button. What's supposed to be a button. Maybe if it's a card, yeah, but this doesn't really look like a card nor as a button. So we have to choose one. But yeah, she's still working on this stuff, and she's also working on the calendar view. That was also highly requested. Well, not highly requested, but it was requested. So if we have time, we'll do that. If not, that's fine as well. And finally, I can show y'all what I was playing around with here. So I wanted to see what it would look like with some color. If it had when the UI team hits it up. Um, so this is just my first kind of foray without it. I do like that the badges. Their logo is so colorful, so it really makes the badges stand out and pop a lot. And I was thinking the cars, it doesn't have to be gray or black or white or anything like that. It could be pastel, I was thinking brighter colors at first, but I was like, that's kind of glarish. But pastels is a really nice color. I'm not sure if this is a real pastel. Maybe it should be a little bit fainter, but whatever. But again, I think it's really cool. Like you can have like level 3 be this color or be some, bright color. Level 2 be some color. Level 1, level 0, whatever. Um, Level 0, 2, and 3 be different colors. And then when you have these pictures with all their colors, and I also made the background like I put a picture from I got that from their website, their website outyouth.com. Not outyouth, sheesh, Quell. I was trying to take that exact picture and use it, but it's only a vertical picture, so I had to Google some other stuff. But yeah, they have this nice little picture here. I think it's pretty cool. So use the same thing for the background here. I think it'll be really cool. So I'm going to put this in the future recommendations, or just to say, hey, when you use colors, this is what it might look like. I imagine it would look way better because you actual UI designers will fix it up real nice. But um, use of colors is really nice. I use a consistent color for the call to actions, like these buttons that you can that actually interact with the page, versus instead of just typical black or white or something like that. I think that's a really cool inclusion there. It draws the eye to these things because we're worrying, like, if you look at the regular page, it's kind of easy to miss this and this is a major feature, the fact that you can change the view, because some people just don't like grid view, some people really like the list, some people really like the map. So we need to be able to make it obvious that this you can change it to something else. One way I was thinking about that, which I'll again put in the future recommendations, is have a tutorial. So in addition to the onboarding, which is what I showed you below with the three buttons, cards, things, just show it asks you if you're a community organizer or business representative. So once you do that onboarding, you can skip it or you can do the whole thing. But either way, the first time you go on this page, I think there should be like a little like thing that shows you, hey, this is where you change the view. You can change it to this, that, and the other. So that way people know as soon as they get on the page, no matter what, that these are other options that you have. Um, and I wouldn't do it for everything. I would just do it for this because everything else is pretty obvious, like star for favorite, filters to change the page. Um, all the other stuff is pretty obvious, but this needs a tutorial. So as soon as people come in, boom, bam, this is what you can do here. So, but yeah, I really like this, man. I was just messing around with it, and obviously these are not realistic pictures. Like you'll probably pictures more maybe closer to this or whatever. Um, but unfortunately, like the pictures she used, because my partner, um, or my group member is the one that came up with that found these pictures, and in order to grayscale it, what I usually do is just change the saturation. So on Figma, it's pretty cool. So the regular pictures is boom bam. So if you want to grayscale it, you just change the saturation down. Very simple. But I don't know what she did. Maybe she used a different um, program to do it, but you know, it's not the option's not here. Like saturation there, but it comes grayscale. So I think she used another program to do that. So that's why I couldn't use those pictures. But I found some pictures anyways. They're not realistic, but it gives you an idea of what it will look like with color. And man, I just like looking at it. I think this is dope. Hopefully the client likes it. Hopefully the participants, the customers like it. Um, but I think this is cool. Man, I'm proud. Worked my butt off with all this work. Still not done, but we did a lot. We did a lot. We want to do mobile views for the profiles and the dashboard. We almost certainly won't get to dashboards, but I think I might be able to, do the onboarding and profiles real quick. Just some simple pages. Um, but yeah, right now I'm just working on the usability test report. So, getting down what we tested, just what we did with our usability test and what the results were, how we did the test and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't think I'll do that right here in a video because it's very not, it's not exciting stuff per se. But oops, excuse me, sorry. But yeah, it's been fun. A lot of freaking work. But thanks again for watching. If you have anything you want to add, or any feedback, any insights, uh, feel free to let me know. Thanks for watching, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And have a good day. See ya. Bye bye.